What's going on, people? Welcome to the United Stand. Welcome to another road trip, man. On our way to OT for a big game against the mighty Scumbaggery FC of Burnley. Yes, difficult team to play against. You know what they're like. You know what what to expect from them. And I want to talk about straight away this game and what it means, because I know there's a lot of other stuff going around news-wise with the Rashford situation and Solskjaer's press conference and injuries and buying loan strikers in January. We'll get to that in a bit, but let's just focus on the game and remember that obviously that there is a game today and we need to win it. We can't afford to be dropping points. Every time we get a chance to close the gap on Chelsea, we cock it up. It always happens. So luckily when we lost against Liverpool, the results went for us again. Which we kind of had like a free hit against Liverpool because we probably was never going to win that game. But now is where it really matters. Similar to when we had Everton and Watford in that little period where we had to win to gain because Chelsea had dropped points and we failed to do it. So are they going to bottle it again? I mean, I tweeted out saying Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes, don't you dare. You know, you saw how they came back against Leicester, and it was a typical Burnley way of doing it, innit? Just hard work and grit and just ugliness. Like, fair play to them, no disrespect to them. That's just what they're good at. They're good at the ugly side of the game. They're good at making it difficult for teams. I think Ashley Barnes is injured, which is always a plus. Playing again, you don't want to play against him. But Chris Wood is a handful. But I think today we'll win the game. I do. I don't want to jinx it. I know there's a lot of scope for people to think that we won't win it because, you know, every time we've had the chance to make up points, we haven't. But I just think Burnley, I think Matic in the team again, it helped us against Burnley at their place. And obviously Maguire in there. I just think we'll deal with that physicality, and once you take that physicality out of Burnley, away from Burnley, they don't have anything else to offer. They really don't. So as long as you turn up and win your battles against them, you win the game, and I just got a feeling we'll do that. It might not be pretty, it very rarely is with Man United, but I think we'll have enough to beat them today. I mean, team news, obviously we know the Rashford situation, which we'll touch on in a minute. Obviously he's not going to be fit. There was supposed to be a late fitness test for Victor Lindelof after a bout of illness as well, so hopefully he's fit, or failing that, hopefully Bailly's ready to step in. I wouldn't mind seeing some of him actually. We're going to need physical presence in there as well, so, and it'd be interesting to see what him and Maguire would be like as well, because we haven't seen those two play together. So yeah, and it'd be interesting to see if Ollie puts Luke Shaw back in, because he came in and played really well, I thought, against Liverpool as a left centre back. Yes, I know there's limitations to him in left back position in comparison to Brandon Williams, with like what we've seen from him, but it'd be interesting to see if Ollie just kind of wants to give Luke Shaw a bit of momentum and puts him back at left back. So that'd be interesting. And again, midfield, I think we keep saying, like, we saw Mata had to come on against Liverpool, probably came on too late for me. I thought he changed the momentum of the game in terms of the tempo we was playing at. He tries to, I think he just quickens things up. He just releases the ball a bit quicker, knows where to run to a bit more often than Pereira for me. So and this is the first game obviously without Rashford, and for me I'd put Martial back to the left. I'd put him back to the left. I'd play Greenwood up front, and there's going to be games because of the rotation that you're going to have a mixture of Dan James on the right, Pereira on the right, and Mata on the right, and whoever don't play on the right can come in the number 10 position. For me, I'll play Mata in number 10, and I'll probably go Dan James against Burnley tonight. But equally, you could put Pereira there. We're going to have to mix and match. I mean, Chong talks of him going to Inter Milan to sign a pre-contract agreement to go there at the end of the season. Is he up to the level right now? Probably not, but there's space for him to get some game time. Angel Gomez, can he get some game time? Probably not, because Solskjaer hasn't fancied him all season. And you've got Mata, Pereira and Lingard who can play in the number 10 position, who have all been ahead of him, so I don't see that changing. But yeah, it'd be interesting. But for me, I think we still need someone going at people from wide positions, and I think Martial can still do that. He's shown he can do it. Yes, his best position seems to be number 9. Some people may disagree, but I think for the purpose of Rashford being out, I think just get Martial out there. He's still going to give us something in terms of getting past players and having a direct threat, because on the right hand side, Dan James has been quite poor, I think, in certain games. I think beating a man with a bit of trickery and a bit of guile is not really his game. His game is more get it into James where he's got grass to run into and a defender's on their back foot. kind of going back towards their own goal, pedaling backwards. So that's where we see the best of Dan James, and on the counter attack. But it's maybe not so much with the ball at his feet, fronting up a man, which is where I think we will lose that in Rashford, because Rashford does do that quite well, to be fair. So the main thing is we've got to win today. With 3 points behind Chelsea. Chelsea's next 3 games are Leicester away, us at the Bridge, and Spurs at the Bridge, I think, or Spurs away. I don't know which one it is, but they've got Spurs. So that's 3 games. So even if we go and draw against Spurs, against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, which I think we can win there, then they're not great. They're inconsistent, just as inconsistent, only a little bit less inconsistent than us. Hence why they're a few points away from us on the table. The table doesn't lie. So it's very interesting. So we've got to win this game. We absolutely have to. Then we've got another game against Wolves, which obviously we have to win. But I think we can really make some ground on Chelsea starting from today. Miles, Burnley, always a difficult team to play against, but we usually get the job done. They are that team that if you don't apply yourself, do you know what I mean, win your battles and earn the right to play, you can give them confidence, you know, set piece FC, you know what I mean, you know what to get. But you always talk about, like, when there's no pressure on, like, you know, they turn it up. But every time we've had the chance to gain on Chelsea, we haven't done it. So there is kind of pressure, but not because of who we're playing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, because obviously usually when we have the pressure of you know, trying to gain on Chelsea, then we can never really seem to do it. But then, you know, Burnley is always, well, it's usually a team that we're able to kind of gain some points on, because they are not a great side. I think the main threat they have is how physical they are. So I think that's just going to be the one thing we're going to have to worry about in this game. And I don't think much else, to be honest. I don't think they have enough quality to really hurt us. You know, it should be, I mean, you say it should be a routine win, but there haven't been any really routine games we've had this season. There haven't been any games where we've been like, we will 100% win this game, you know, and we won't have to worry about the strengths of our opponents. So I think it's the same today. We do have to worry about their physical presence and not be, and just not let them bully us in this game. But apart from that, they don't have a lot really to really damage us, and hopefully saying that I haven't jinxed us, and you know, they go and get a result against us, because we desperately need to gain points with Chelsea.
It's true. Like, when you say they haven't got a lot to hurt us apart from the physicality, I mean, that game, I think it was Boxing Day, yeah, Burnley away, and I looked at them and I'm like, some of the players that they got, I'm like, how are these men still Prem ballers? Like, no offense, and I know, like, look, they've stabilised themselves in the league and that, but I'm talking about player for player, as in technically on the ball, and how they perform as individual players. They're a decent team, Burnley. They're a strong team, but individuals, you know, I'm looking at like Jeff Hendricks and these kind of men. Like, I'm like, awful. Yeah. Like, some of the things they were doing, I'm like, these are a poor side, and that's no disrespect. That's just what I see as a bunch of as individuals. Yeah. But yeah, obviously collectively as a team, they can put performances together. So. You're right. I mean, away from the game, though, so you think we'll get it done. I mean, what do you think of now Rashford's out for, let's face it, the majority of the remainder of the season? Even if he does come back, it's going to be towards the end, I would have thought. Maybe play a few token games.
He's gone for the season.
You never know.
He's gone for the season.
Do you, all we've heard from Solskjaer this whole time is about longevity, long-term planning. We're going to get the right type of profile, we're going to get the right fit. And now, because we haven't strengthened when we should have strengthened in the summer, he's now talking about short-term solutions. I mean, but given the position we're in, because we are knocking on the door for fourth, should we go and get something short-term?
100 million %.
Yeah.
You've got people like Cavani, who all of a sudden is there and, you know, ready and available to be taken. It looks like Chelsea are trying to get that deal.
Well, the latest deal on that is that his preferred destination is Madrid, Atletico Madrid.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
are they like in for
yeah, they're in for him. Yeah.
Well,
but, you know, he's still out there to be got, but maybe not to the Premier League.
Well, I mean, if you're thinking about the way they do things, you know, they bought Diego Costa. They kind of buy, sometimes they don't even buy youth. They just kind of get someone they need to do a job there and then. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Simeone's that kind of guy. Yeah. In terms of our short-term problems, I mean, we've had other problems this whole season in terms of like not having enough midfielders. So obviously there's a glaring short-term problem in terms of we need a striker like that. We need or another attacking player. But because we haven't even really been able to get this midfield situation sorted out, do I really have enough faith that we're then going to go and sort out our attacking issues? I mean, you've got the Bruno Fernandes thing still going on.
Still dragging on.
I don't know what the date is, the 21st, the 22nd, I don't know, but you know, it's time is ticking on. So little things like that, you've still got to get that wrapped up, and then you've got another 8 days to figure out, 8-9 days to figure out, you know, an attacking option. So
I don't think we got it in us to get more than one deal done in it. I would be pleasantly surprised, but the way we move in transfer windows is not ruthless, it's not efficient, it's not quick. And I feel like I still feel as if Bruno Fernandes will happen, like probably right at the end of the window. But I don't know. As much as we need another forward, I just don't have that much faith, because they haven't shown me anything.
Well, I mean, my question at the moment is, if I'm a striker playing for any other team anywhere else in the world or whatever, do I want to come to United with the current state that we're in? That's another question. It's not just a thing of us being ruthless. It's actually take away those rose, you know, tinted glasses that we all have for our club. Do other strikers want to come to us in the middle of the season and to a club that doesn't look like it's really going anywhere anytime soon? So that's another thing you have to think about. I think if a striker does want to come to us, then maybe it will be at the start of next season. And that's the annoying thing. I don't think anyone wants to jump on board this ship.
One player that I think might, or I will put it to you, Giroud is getting 0 game times at Arsenal, at Chelsea. 0, like not even making a matchday squad. He's got the Euros coming up. He's a big part of France, of their success, of how they play. People might not see him as the best striker, but he links up well with Mbappe and Griezmann, Pogba, etc., etc. He's an integral part of France. He will want to get himself playing. Would you take Olivier Giroud for like 4 months?
Josh is doing that slow turn on me. I would, because we are desperate. Now, I'm not saying I would because he has all of these great attributes
Literally
and whatnot.
a 6-month contract.
Yeah, but you know, bring him in and then play to the way he plays. Throw those balls into the box. Let him hold up the ball as much as possible if he's going to play as the main striker and have Martial out wide. But I mean, if you can't get anyone else, then what? Like, you can't turn your nose up at Giroud when we're in such a desperate situation. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we need someone to come and fill in a gap. And if we can't get someone better than Giroud, then you need to go and get Giroud in, and then just adapt to him. Make sure, you know, whoever's on the wings can put in some balls in. And yeah, I mean, we're kind of, Chelsea are kind of giving us the option to even be in and around top 4.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah,
nobody wants it. It shows how shit the league is.
So
I was thinking that yesterday.
Yeah. So
the league is awful.
I say, it is. So I say, don't waste that chance. This is kind of like the end of last season, where everyone was kind of had the opportunity to be given top 4, and no one. Well,
this is what I was saying to you the other day. I said it's like the end of last season, but for the whole season.
100%.
For the whole season, yeah.
100%.
So,
it's a disgrace.
So seeing as it's kind of, you know, halfway through the season, but being given the opportunity to go after top 4, when really, after our first 10 games or whatever, we were like, no way, we're getting top 4. Now we are kind of in with a sniff. Win today's game, get yourself a striker in, whoever it is, just get something in and then try and go for top 4. If then you don't make it, cool, Marcus Rashford was injured, whatever. I don't think you prepared for it well anyway, even if Marcus Rashford was there. But now that you know what the situation is like, get someone in, get Bruno Fernandes in and a striker, and then just try and go for this top 4. Like, yeah.
We need to, man. I mean, just off the back of your comment there, I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I was like, bro, this Premier League is heading towards like the SPL, like where you just got Rangers and Celtic, and the rest are just crap. Like, it is shocking. Like,
So
I think
just Celtic.
Yeah, and so yeah, exactly. I mean, Rangers are pushing them at the moment, but like, you got Liverpool, who are just obviously the real deal in world football, in European football. They are the best team in Europe. There's no doubt in that for me. They could win a Champions League again. And then you got Man City, who are always obviously consistent. Yes, this year, what are they, 16 points off flipping? Yeah, like they fell off in second, but you can't just say that they haven't been consistent because it's the one bad season. So really, in our country right now, from where we always start off the season saying there's 6 teams who could potentially win the league. No, there isn't. There is not. There's 2 teams that could win the league at the moment.
There were 2. Do
you know what I'm saying?
Now there's 1.
And now there's only really 1. Yeah. And apart from Leicester, yeah, Leicester have done well this season, but they don't normally do what they're doing. They might continue to do that under Brendan Rodgers, who knows. But so really, apart from the top 2, everyone else is just not that great. So the standard of the Premier League really has dropped. And the fact that, you know, I saw a stat that I think Chelsea got the lowest points for a team in 4th since like the 03-04 season. It shows like the level and the standard of the Premier League.
They even got
is
8
actually
losses.
dropping. That's what I'm saying.
8 losses.
There you go.
That's more than Arsenal. Arsenal have 6 losses, and they're 10th.
they're draw FC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and this is what I mean. This shows how bad the league has actually got. Where our once amazing Premier League, where we always say the Premier League's the best league in the world. Well, we say that out of entertainment value because anyone that's beating everyone because there's no consistency, but it's not.
It's a case
really
of the smaller teams have got better and the bigger teams have got worse.
Yeah, so
while it seems like, oh yeah, it's always a hard game against whoever you face, but it's not. It's the standards have fallen on one side and risen on another, and they've met in the middle. Then you've got those 2 teams at the top that just live there.
Look at usually every game we've been to. Yeah, we've literally said in every single road trip that it's going to be a tough game. No matter who.
Apart from Norwich. No offence, but Norwich at home. And we won, what, 4-0?
Yeah. The majority of the teams, we said it's going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
Newcastle, we even said Watford was going to be a tough game, and they beat us. Do you see what I'm saying? So, yeah, the whole standards of the Premier League is kind of evening out. The teams that were good are now.
Plus, our fall from grace has been spectacular for the rest of the footballing world. Like, painful for us, but that also hasn't helped the fact that we have just gone from worse to bad to awful to shambolic, like within 6 seasons. Continuously, like, talk about a snowball effect. So I think that accompanied in with we're look, you don't really want to compare to other teams because you want to keep it in-house and look at the state of your own club, but I think we have been helped by the fact that so many other teams around us are equally going through different types of transitions in their own right. Tottenham obviously losing their manager, Chelsea new manager, Arsenal new manager. Do you know what I mean? Leicester new manager, but they're doing better than us. So there are teams going through transitions, which actually has helped us. Imagine if we would have been in this period with Chelsea of old.
If this was left to
and Arsenal, they got their act together, or Chelsea didn't go through another rebuild where they're getting youngsters in, and Hazard the change and shift of then. Imagine we'd just be the bottom of the pile.
100%.
And the fact that we're not bottom of the pile is a miracle in itself, which is why, back to our original point, is why we have to try and find a way in January to give us something to the end of the season, because as bad as we're going to be and as bad as we're going to continue to be, the other teams around us will as well. Chelsea are going to keep doing this. There is no way, and I'll go on record as saying this, me, if it does happen, there is no way Chelsea are winning their next 3 games. They are not getting 9 points out of Leicester away, us at their place, and Spurs. And if they do, if they do, I will have to, I'm not going to take both hands and go, I've got the wheel right here. But I will have to take that on the chin, but that's not going to happen. Do you know what I'm saying? Arsenal are going to be inconsistent. Wolves, they're in and around us all the time. Sheffield United, we've expected them to fall off and they just won't. Well, at least they lost against City, so we can get a bit of daylight. And Spurs are Spurs. They're going to be inconsistent under Jose. So, you know, that's why we have to... Whoever goes on the run first in that period, I think, will get 4th. Yeah. Or do you think it'll just go down to the wire?
I think, yeah, I mean, whoever can put a run together, but I don't actually see anyone putting a run together out of those teams.
Yeah, it's going to be like this for the whole season.
Yeah, so I think it will go down. People keep slipping.
Last 3 or 4 games and there's like 4 points in it.
Yeah, I think so. It literally could be like that. I think everyone's going to keep drawing and losing these weird one-off games, and then it's going to even out, and everyone's still going to be in and around the same kind of place.
We got like Leicester away on like the last game of the season.
Oh, is it? That could be crucial. Who knows? You never know. So. It's tough. Yeah. It's quite a shame that we're having to rely on other teams again to drop points, and we're not good enough to really climb ourselves. So, yeah, man.
But this is what I'm saying. We've got an opportunity now.
Oh, listen.
Having known that Chelsea lost yesterday, then we've got Chelsea coming up, and then Chelsea's other games. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Drew. Sorry, it felt like I was sorry. They drew, sorry, but having dropped points after losing against Newcastle, which didn't matter because we lost. But do you know what I'm saying? So I think we've got some winnable games, which whatever that is anymore, and Chelsea got some really difficult games, but you never know. Imagine Lampard does a madness and does get 9 points out next 3 games. But I don't know, I can't see it. Score prediction and goal scorers, since we've got shit, shake it up a bit.
I think it will be 2-1. I think they'll score, and I think Martial gets 1, and if Mata plays, he gets 1 because I love Mata.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I'm gonna go over 2-0. I think we'll keep them at bay. I think it'll be similar to how we played against them at their place, settle down, win the battles, and then the quality was shine through. Even though against them we didn't have loads of chances, they gave us the first chance and Martial scored. But I think we'll get the job done 2-0, and I think Greenwood will score, and I think Mata will score, because if he starts, I'm pretty sure he's going to start this game. We need creativity at home to Burnley. I don't know. I think he should start. I think we could even see. Actually, what do you think Solskjaer will do? Actually, just before we finish off, what do you think he would do in the absence of Martial?
I think it will.
Sorry, not Martial. In the absence of Rashford. In this game.
Well, in terms of what, like Pereira or Mata, I feel
Pereira, Mata. Do you think Martial go to the left?
Yeah, because you've got Greenwood as well. I don't think he'll play Greenwood through the middle though. I feel like he'll play him out wide because maybe he doesn't trust him enough to be through the middle. So probably Martial through the middle, Greenwood on one side, maybe a Daniel James on the other, however he wants to figure it out. And then I think because they're physical, I think he might go Pereira in the 10. Because Mata's not as fast, not as strong, all that kind of stuff. So I think he'll go Pereira over Mata.
Okay. I agree with the front three. I think he'll put James on the left, Martial in the middle, and Greenwood on the right. And
Pereira should.
Do you know what? I think he's gonna. I don't know. I think he might start Mata because so do I. But I think the fact that Pereira was wasteful in patches against Liverpool, and he was like he had Mata warming up almost straight away. It took too long to bring him on, in my opinion, but did know that was the right thing to do. And prior to that, Mata got the win against Wolves for us and played well against Norwich. So I don't know, a home game against Burnley I think is tailor-made for Mata personally. So I think he'll go with that. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know about your score predictions and obviously the Rashford situation and striker situation. Would you take Olivier Giroud? I want to know that. Like, some people laugh at that and think it's banter and think absolutely no chance. Some people actually go, oh, do you know what? For a few months that can work. Should we be nailed in for Cavani? Do you think we'll get anyone? Will Bruno Fernandes sign? Don't know, but yeah, we'll see you guys after fan cams, hopefully with 3 points in the bag and unscathed and no more injuries. Peace. Big thank you to you guys for watching the latest of our videos, and if you want to check out more, make sure you do that just to the right of me. We are the biggest and best Manchester United channel in the world. Make sure you check us out on all of the socials as well: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. The socials are along the bottom. Peace.